Hello and greetings, my fellow Long Darkins. Welcome to Hinterland's Dev Diary discussion for November 2023. Just came out on a Friday afternoon, right kind of as the workday had just ended, and I read through this more than a couple times, let it just digest in my system. Want to give you my thoughts, ideas. We can read through this together. Let me know what you think overall in the comments. Well, we do have quite a bit to discuss. We'll be discussing this on Mondays. Might have a separate discussion video as well, because there's a lot to unpack in this, and I would like to talk about it more. But let's just get through the basics. Alright, hello survivors. We've nearly finished with part 4 from the Tales from Far Territory DLC, the paid expansion pass for survival mode. You might be curious to know a bit more what's being added in the new part, launching early December. Like I said, I imagine probably midway through December, right before they go on winter vacation like they always do. Usually is when the update does drop, so look around closer to that. As outlined in September Dev Diary Part 4, which will be called Buried Echoes now is the new name. I like that. It's actually kind of, it's a little weird though, because it's usually very dry Canadian sounding updates. Buried Echoes though, that's nice. Included in the next new region in the Far Territory, the Zone of Contamination. And I've read through this one a couple times, and I feel like we might, I know they're trying different stuff, and there's only so many things you can do besides get out the main usual territory. But I wonder if this one is straying a little too far from the formula, the magic sauce, if you will. Time will tell. This is a little too early to think about it, and there's some really interesting stuff in here. The old Langston mine lies at the heart of the Zone of Contamination, industrial pollution from decades-old mining operations, leaving it a poison wasteland patrolled by toxic wolves. So we've got a new type of wolf, featuring large industrial remnants, and hiding many hazards and mysteries. So that does sound intriguing. Its heart an open pit mine scars the landscape, and deep inside its tunnels, if you survive, so they're doing the poison gas thing again as well, sits a room that holds many secrets. Ooh, oh my. The Zone of Contamination is the second of the 3 large regions that make up the Far Territory. The last region will be coming with the last paid update, I do believe. I'm excited to see how you find it pairs up with the Forsaken Airfield, which we launched in part 1. And I do like the Forsaken Airfield map. The Glimmer Fog, I didn't really care for it. I didn't find it very interesting. I don't think it really added much to the game itself. But that's I think it's kind of personal opinion on that one. Right, we've got another picture here, because yeah, we've got a lot of dumping, a lot of... And one thing I want to pay attention to is, because you'll see this building later on in the bigger part of the map, and I'm pretty sure this is part of the mining building, maybe outside, maybe mining office, and a little bit of another log area there. So we've got some toxic dump, maybe some toxic gas too, and a sicker, more weaker wolf. But these wolves can actually inflict poison, which is interesting. Yeah, this is the Zone of Contamination coming in Tales Part 4. To go along with the mine theme, include a variety of new and useful gameplay tools. A respirator. I wonder if that'll gonna work in the Blackrock mine. You know, we're doing that bit. That would be interesting. From poison gases you might find in the Zone of Contamination, eventually other parts of the Far Territory and Great Bear Islands at large. So it does sound like they will probably be adding this into other regions at some point, if not this update. The respirator relies on consumable canisters to provide its protection, so it sounds like we're probably not going to get a ton of those. So keep an eye out for those as you explore the Far Territory. And I imagine they have these canisters. They're probably, sounds like they're only going to be added maybe for Second Airfield, Transfer Hub, Far Range Line, and probably the new map maybe. That's just a guess. But they're also adding chemical boots, because we're not going to want to wear our shoes. Now, I wonder, and this will be interesting to see if we can get away with, will we suffer some kind of poison damage? What if I just take off my shoes? I would imagine they probably thought of that, but yeah, so if we wear regular shoes, that's going to be really tough on our feet, so. And also, really weirdly, a hard hat against head damage. There's a miner's coat and miner's pants. It's a little bit more clothing variants. Kind of cool. Now, whether those will be an interloper or not, we'll have to see. Though they do mention interloper in this, so I think we're going to be covered there. And while exploring the Zone of Contamination, make sure you keep an eye out for the poison wolves that patrol the area. So these are smaller than regular wolves, more desperate, maybe more aggressive. While living around the toxic pools, they left them poisoned themselves, and without much to eat, so they are more dangerous than usual. The bite can leave you with new poison afflictions, so be extra careful when exploring the zone of contamination. I wonder if we're going to have a new mechanic for that, some new medicine, etc. As you can see there, that's the building I think we saw back in this picture. I would venture to guess. That's how far here. We probably come, I would say we come down this way maybe. Kind of looks like it. And that's the mine itself down there. And there's another area over here too. Very nice. We've seen this earlier in the last Dev Diary, but this is a little bit more zoomed in, a little more detailed, I think. Yeah, the Langston Mine sits at the heart of the zone of contamination and hides many secrets. And they did say large map. So I almost wonder if we could come back through this area too as well. I think maybe there's more hiding behind this even. And if it's the size of Forsaken Airfield, that's a pretty decent size. I was kind of wondering if it'd just be the mine and being very expansive. But I think we might have some more hidden stuff back here as well. And of course, I will be covering this day one when it comes out. We'll have live streams, etc. Doing a whole map tour. We'll be getting very in-depth into this as always. So make sure to subscribe for that content. Within the zone of contamination, you'll also be able to start the second tale. So we did decide that we're going to have a second tale. And I thought it was alright, even on Interloper. I mean, it actually had some better rewards. They kind of changed it at the end, so it was better rewards than I thought I would have had. Yeah, but it wasn't bad. I actually did end up carrying a battery, like, so far to get down to the last battery we did need. But a continuation of Signal Void, which we introduced in part 2. Now, me personally, and I remember story can vary person to person, of course, I didn't find the tale that interesting to really. But I mean, it's just the first part. You don't have all the info. It was just very vague. Just journal entries where you standing there, listen to some voice lines. But that's just my opinion. As another layer of mystery of the story, the mine workers. Like the challenge itself, I did enjoy though. So the gameplay-wise, thumbs up for that. Security Chief and the enigmatic Rudiger. Buried Echoes presents a story that goes in a somewhat unusual direction for Long Dark. And this is where I kind of get this almost, I wouldn't say supernatural, but more, yeah, kind of like, I guess the best word I could say, supernatural, kind of more scarier kind of element maybe, and I don't think it really works for survival mode as well. We'll have to see. See what you think. The tale in the new region also feature new music. Oh, very nice. As with Signal Void, there's a special gameplay reward to be gained for completing Buried Echoes. Alright, very nice. You'll first have to get there to see what it is. And don't worry, the tale will be available in Interloper Experience. And that was the biggest thing. I know some people thought, other people are Interloper just complaining, but if you only play on Interloper and you buy a DLC, and they only like, here's your one thing, and then there's 900 other things, I think that wasn't very fair. So I'm glad they did address it. Alright, next thing, the Travoy. Travoy coming in Tales Part 4. Beyond the zone of contamination and Buried Echoes, Part 4 also adds a significant new gameplay tool, the Travoy, a craftable, movable container. The Travoy is constructed from saplings and other materials. Oh, so we're going to need a birch. I usually do have a ton. Even if I'm going to imagine it's going to be birch because birch is more prevalent. I wonder if they'd introduce a new sapling. Probably not, though. Maybe they make you choose, because usually I have more birch than I know what to ever do with. So that's totally cool. The material is cloth, maybe some leather, perhaps, maybe a rope, and allows you to drag a large amount of extra gear around with you. So I did talk about this on Saturday's video, that I think you're only going to be able to deploy it really in certain areas. Like, I don't think you could take it to Ash Canyon, up and down places, etc. Like, I don't think you're going to be able to. They did say movable container, though, so we might. I just don't know if we can pick it up, go down a rope, etc. like that. Probably not. But keep in mind, you'll have to make some compromise to movement speed while dragging the Travoy, and you can't take it everywhere. So that sounds like not up ropes, etc. So I would say, like, maybe Mystery Lake, Coastal Highway, Forlorn Muskeg, Broken Road. Just the routes that are just very basic. You're not going up, down places, things like that. I don't think I'd want to try that on the trestle, but that's just me. And you can't take it everywhere. And depending on what you choose to load up with it, and I was wondering about this, it could be a very effective wildlife attractant. So let's say, because I might try this. Let's get a Travoy, and I'm going to load it full of meat. And our diet's going to be changing as well in the long dark. And I'm kind of this one. I found like first I didn't like the idea, but now I kind of find it interesting thinking about it more. Thus, a pack of hungry wolves or a bear sneaks up on you. It's a perfect tool for moving large amounts of gear and items. Because I know people that play on like Stalker and like Voyager and even on Pilgrim. Pilgrim, you got to move some gear, so that'll be very nice for you. When stocking up on a new safe house, supply cache for moving your main base of operations to a new region. I know a lot of people that actually do that too. I used to do that quite a bit. It would take you like 2 or 3 tries just to get everything out there. It was quite a bit. As always, we don't want players who opted out to not purchase Tales to feel left out. So this is very nice on Hinterland's part. Not a lot of AAA, they're not AAA, but a lot of AAA, they don't, if there's a paid expansion, you don't get anything for a free update. So this is very nice. To the base survival game, which will be able to everyone who owns the Long Dark or Survival Edition. But a good way to add hand coverings in the games, and this is, I feel like this is, some people really like it for immersion's sake. I personally didn't really care either way, but it's nice to see if you're going to do it anyway. Correctly, yeah, because if we have like mitts on, etc., that will show up as well. Same for the lower sleeves, what are you wearing on your arms? So now whatever type of shirt, that's going to show up too. So Will's going topless. Rotates animation so they work better with things like mittens. How this has turned out with Phil brings a whole new level of immersion to the Long Dark. And some people are very, very about them. It's a very immersive game at times. And we hope you agree when you get the chance to try them out. We've also added a whole new series of first-person harvesting animations. Ooh, very nice. Cards for meat and other resources with your hands involved with the harvesting action. Okay, that's actually pretty cool. I enjoy that rather than just the time. Very nice. You also have the opportunity because you see up here. Actually, yeah, we got these. Those gloves. Those. Even on the. I'm gonna have to actually reserve judgment for when we see with other gloves for the bow, though. Like leather glove, those leather gloves, I think would work very well for a bow. I'm just kind of wondering about the other kind of mittens, etc. But we will have to see. You also have the opportunity to use a new insulated flask. Ooh! I can keep my coffee warm. This is actually very nice. Stack some warmth buffs for those long treks across the frozen wilderness. Actually, that would be really nice. Only come in a variety of colors and patterns. Oh, who's gonna collect some? Raise your hand. Oh, that's very nice. And this one was interesting. I didn't like the idea. My first gut reaction was like, I don't know. But we'll have to see how this affects it. Because I wonder if they're thinking about long game. Because I'm always thinking about the long game. And finally, we've added a new scurvy affliction to the game. Certain foods will not provide you with vitamin C. If you don't consume enough of them over time, you can develop scurvy risk and then eventually scurvy. So it depends on how many foods we're going to have for vitamin C. And what eventually happens when you run out. Because it's food eventually, if it's not something we can murder, or something that's reharvestable, eventually we're going to get scurvy. So, yeah, definitely something to keep an eye out. That's what I was thinking about for those longer running games. Do we hoard it? I would think I would only use it when I have scurvy risk, really. Just to kind of buffer yourself for those long runs. And this mainly sums up focus of part 4 of Tales. I think it's a great way to end the year for Long Dark, and I actually agree quite a bit. Last one I want to make sure about the recent Hinterland pop-up store, and I talked about this as well. Yeah, they closed up in 2021 because of COVID. But they did bring a little bit, and they had about as much inventory as I thought they did. People thought they just didn't stock up enough, but they only had like 1,300 items. So that goes pretty quick. It wasn't scalpers or anything, I am pretty sure. It was just people buying, because they haven't had the store since 2021. A lot of new people to Long Dark. Makes total sense. So I don't think they will come back strong with the regular Hinterland store. And they did team up with Granite as well for those sweaters. Yeah, they'll have a launch somewhere in the new year, probably in spring, I think. And one thing I will also mention about this is very good update. I'm liking what I'm seeing. It's gonna see if this pans out though, because there's a lot of stuff still left in the update, and this DLC was supposed to be done by the year, and I get it, it's not, and it's understandable. But I don't know how many more updates we're gonna have. I'm thinking it's gonna have to be 2 if you're gonna include everything you want in there, like the base customization, the Cougar, the other new map, all this other stuff. I just wonder if something's gonna get cut on the table. We will have to see. Maybe with anything with the free updates as well. The one thing they didn't mention in this, and I saw on Hinterland forums already mentioned as well, and I think they should just say yay or nay at this point because it's been a long, long time and they don't mention it, is the Nintendo Switch idea, because you can see the Nintendo Switch right up here. Does not have the Survival Edition yet. Does not have the Expansion Pass. And I normally play anymore. I do have it on the Switch, but I generally play it on my Steam Deck now because it's just graphically it's better. Higher frame rate. A little bit just better overall on the Steam Deck. They're coming out with a new one too, which ticks me off because I just got this one. But yeah, just either you got it or you don't, because there's something going on besides technical issues that's just. I think you owe it to the Nintendo Switch customers to give a little update on that. But hopefully they are going to have a December update, which is going to tease something about episode 5 of the story mode coming sometime probably late next year, I'd imagine. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot to discuss here. I'll be talking a lot about my videos during the week. I might even have another discussion video about it because we got a lot to unpack here. But let me know what you think about this update in the comments. Thoughts, ideas for what we should do for the run, etc. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video.